Episode 48, Histrionic Personality Disorder. Hello and welcome to Doomy's Daily Grind. My name is Doomy and thank you for joining me today. I have created this channel to share my life experiences, inspirations I found from others, learnings I have earned, and things I have been taught throughout various periods of my life, especially the ones related to sobriety, finding serenity, and general mental health topics, with spiritual growth at the forefront, is what I focus on. Please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and please support the channel by becoming a Patreon. The link is available below. I promised to take an in-depth look at histrionic personality disorder in the episode numbered 45, titled An Encounter with a Mad Woman, a Personal Outlook, triggered by Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. A lot has happened since that episode. Amber's cross-examination is intense, and Ms. Camille Vasquez is a pro. She is destroying Amber Heard in court right now. So it is said that Amber possibly has histrionic personality disorder, right? So what is it and where does it belong? Now, histrionic personality disorder is a personality disorder that belongs to a group of about 10 mental conditions that involve long-lasting, disruptive patterns of thinking, patterns of behavior, and general mood when relating to others. It can be noted by intense and distorted self-image, accompanied by unstable emotions. Now, the word histrionic actually means excessively theatrical or dramatic in character or in style. People with this condition often do not even realize that they have it or that it is problematic at all. They rely on people to have a raised level of self-esteem and self-worth, as they require approval from others. They don't really have a true feeling of importance, and thereby have an overwhelming desire to be noticed, and will do anything it takes to get the attention that they seek. This disorder apparently affects more females than males, and it usually shows itself during the late teenage years to early 20s. Researchers do think that males can also be affected but are underdiagnosed. This disorder is quite rare and relatively unknown by us lay people because it affects about 1% of the world population. I first heard about it because of the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case and took interest in it, because I feel I was affected personally by a person who may have this condition. The triggering effect of seeing and hearing Amber Heard and what happened with Johnny Depp just spurred on the interest for me. So how would we know the features, the signs, and the symptoms? Well, these people may display the following behaviors. They are depressed when they are not center of attention. They may have quite shallow emotions that feel fake. They may show excessive theatrical expressions, and they really wouldn't mind embarrassing another in public. They have a very large personality that helps them get the attention they seek. They are very charming, very flirtatious, and can most often than not get their price or target as such. as they have the talent to get what they want. They ensure that they look a certain way to be as attractive as possible at all times. They love makeup, they love outshining everyone else. They can dress provocatively, sexualize themselves to be the center of attention, even when this behavior is inappropriate at that time, at that moment. They are hardly able to present fact based arguments and would not mind adding a lot of salt and pepper to exaggerate the point that they are trying to make. They follow trends at a drop of a hat and are very gullible and easily influenced by people that they admire. They would even change the way that they dress, the way they talk, and the way that they behave to duplicate and look like the ones that they admire. They need instant gratification, constantly seek approval, and assisted to feeling secure and measured of themselves. They make loud, inappropriate appearances, exaggerate their behavior and emotions, and have a large craving for stimulation, which may lead to addictions to sex, drugs, alcohol, and other substances, and can lead to substance abuse conditions. Now, this disorder falls under what is called Cluster B disorders under DSM 5. Section 3 traits that are literally wild, erratic, dramatic, impulsive, emotional, hostile. They have chronic emptiness, paranoia. They are suspicious and self destructive. HPD is clumped together with in this cluster with antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder. Unlike clusters A and C, which have avoidance, impairment of reality, anxiety, and rigidity traits. Now, what causes this personality disorder? Well, as all other disorders, there isn't a clear cause for it, but researchers believe that it's associated with both genetics and environmental factors, including early childhood trauma and other developmental experiences. Some say parenting styles can contribute. Parenting styles such as lack of boundaries, overindulgence, inconsistency, and parents who act dramatical, volatile, erratic, and show inappropriate sexual behaviors around their children can have that impact and create that problem in their children. This characteristic is linked to the low self esteem that comes with HPD. Now, according to the National Library of Medicine and the historic roots, show that HPD is the most ambiguous one in its category in psychiatry, as it includes a variety of psychopathological states named as hysteria. I quote, HPD made its first official appearance in the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders 2, and since DSM 3, HPD is the only disorder that kept the term derived from the old concept of hysteria. It also says, and I quote, the word hysteria derived from the Greek term hystera, meaning the womb or the uterus. It has been used since ancient times and appears in texts of Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans. Since then, the meanings of hysteria have mirrored the preoccupations of the societies at each time. End quote. The National Library of Medicine also states the following. The oldest records show in medical papyrus indicated around 1990 before Christ in the Kahun papyrus, which is the first known medical gynecological text. Plato, who existed around 429 to plus minus 347 BC, described this phenomenon as the animal within them is desirous of procreating children, and when remaining unfruitful gets discontented and angry and wandering in every direction through the body, drives them to extremities, causing all varieties of diseases. Hysteria was known as the wandering womb and later introduced by Hippocrates as hysteria. Now, that's how old this condition is, and yet so unknown to non medical folk like us. From the Middle Ages till now, several researchers have intensely studied this condition with different theories that included naturalistic to demonology, theologic, and theologians who viewed it as a demon possession of some sort, to it being rejected as a condition of the uterine origin, to it being named as a psychosis of sorts by Freud, who was influenced in his opinion by Charcot to later develop psychoanalytical theories leading to the redefinition of hysteria and the creation of different syndromes that come from the original concepts. Now, I quote again: Freud explored traumatic experiences occurring in the family in order to provide an explanation for hysteria. Unacceptable feelings connected to seduction were repressed and converted into somatic symptoms. Later, he found that many of these reports were actually false, so he concentrated on intrapsychiatric uh, characters where it actually happens that it's sexual fantasies of their own. In conclusion, this paper states the following: in a study carried out with a sample of patients attending psychiatric day hospital, concluded that the prevalence of HPD was very low at 0.4%, and comorbidity was high, especially with borderline narcissistic and dependent personality disorders. They suggested that HPD category should be deleted from DSM system, accepting that clinical phenomena of exhibitionism and attention seeking, which are dominant personality features of HPD, should be preserved as exhibitionist behaviors of narcissism. Nevertheless, HPD remains in the DSM 5 system. Now, Edwards, 2009, advocates that those who argue that hysteria has disappeared from clinical practice miss the point, and that has merely changed to reflect the preoccupations of our society. Concerns with stigma and lack of specificity in the term hysteria and its derivative histrionic led to us residual presence of modern classification by the theme and its modern diagnostics that emerged from the original concept kept topical and of importance in that practice. For about 4,000 years, the construct of hysteria and its derivative has reflected attitudes about health, religion, and relationships between the sexes, and the interest raised by this condition is likely to continue. Now, a quick opinion from my side I would like to insert here is that these researchers in the past were so sexist. I am sure we would be further in our knowledge base if men did not think women with mental health issues were possessed by demons or had displaced wombs or something being wrong with their uteruses or being witches. Oh my gosh, a subject for another day. Now, the behavioral panel on YouTube has released so far 3 parts analyzing the behavior of Amber Heard on the stand in court, and they thoroughly analyze her statements, behavior, and how they tie up to histrionic personality disorder. This condition is treatable. Yes, it is. Just like any other mental disorder, it is treatable. Psychotherapy is the first line treatment for histrionic personality disorder. Medications can be prescribed to help with the distressing symptoms like depression and anxiety that seem to accompany many mental disorders. People with this personality disorder, such as HPD, often don't think anything is wrong, and therefore, as any other condition, one will need to admit that they do need help and that the condition is indeed a problematic one and causing unmanageability in one's life. Medication may include antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and antipsychotic drugs and therapies, or psychodynamic therapy, which has also been found to be a successful treatment for HPD with the goal to help you resolve underlying unconscious conflicts so you can understand yourself and your behaviors better. They are also said to be alternative treatments that are available, but a change in lifestyle may be a very effective way to treat this condition. Now, overall health are recommended. This includes the basics of self-care, such as eating healthy, regular exercise, practicing mindfulness, healthy weight balancing, avoiding mind altering substances such as alcohol, and seeking help from people that you trust to be honest with you and to keep you on track. Now, because HPD is strongly tied to low self esteem and low self worth, practicing strategies such as challenging negative beliefs you may have about yourself, being kind to yourself, understanding that life is the way it is and can be managed, being positive and spiritually fit, asking others to give you positive feedback about yourself, showing up even when you are feeling down, patting yourself on the back, learning to say no, and knowing you are important in the cycle we call life. Go on an adventure of self discovery and get to know how special you really are. To you who knows a person with a mental disorder, please be supportive. Stop the stigma. Mental health must be a priority in all of our lives. If you have an inkling that something is wrong, please believe it and trust that something is wrong and seek help. We all have some sort of disorder, and that's why we are not saints. But we can become better versions of ourselves with a little bit of understanding, forgiveness, gratitude, and respect for one another's individualities and characteristics. The world would be a boring place otherwise. So, during this research, I took a personality test and from a website called thepersonalitylab.org, I have taken various tests throughout my life and have a pretty good idea of my personality type and any mild underlying mental disorders I have. Hence, my interest in psychology per se. But if you want to know more about yourself, the test can be done However, there is a cost to it starting from about $19 or so. Now, the summary I received on my test says the following: the main characteristics of your personality type. You are not afraid to take on challenging tasks and endeavors and are not afraid to speak up to authority figures. You believe that the world is constituted of strong and weak people, and you learned from an early age that if you had to survive, you had to be strong. You had to be assertive about your needs and self reliant. Power was appealing to you. You are self confident and really doubt your ability to get what you want out of any situation. I sincerely hope that both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard receive the help they need, and sincerely hope they grow from this experience and treat the ones they love with more kindness and understanding. I hope the world forgives them both for what they have done to one another, and I hope they can continue their lives sharing their talents with us all. Now, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. May God bless you and keep you safe. Wishing you stable growth one day at a time. Goodbye for now. Until I see you next time. Lots of love.